This video is not for kids. Go do your homework.
Hey everybody, I am so freaking excited because American Girl finally officially released the images for Nicki and Isabel Hoffman, and I've been seeing the leaks all along for the last few weeks, and I have just been so excited to talk about them. And now I think it's okay because American Girl officially released the images. So yeah, today we're going to talk about them, and I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions on everything as someone who was actually alive during this time period. So this is a really exciting release for me. So you can probably tell I'm buzzing with excitement a little bit. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into the review. First up, we're going to start with Isabel. She's sort of like the girly girl of the two, and as many people have pointed out already, she obviously bears a strong resemblance to Cher from Clueless. She's sort of like a mini Cher. There's a lot of stuff in her wardrobe that reminds me of Cher, and of course, like the sort of the blonde, like just past shoulder length hair, and the doll is absolutely beautiful. I'm glad to finally see like really close up images of her because I think they did such a beautiful job. It looks like they've used the Joss mold, which at first I thought it was going to be the Josefina mold, but it looks like a Joss to me. And like I said, I think she looks absolutely beautiful. They've gone with the bright green eyes that they used to use with Felicity. And I think this, if I'm correct, I think this is actually the first time they've used these eyes in a while. And they look really, really great on her. I think these eyes look great on a blonde doll. The outfit is absolutely adorable, and I think that was like one of the main reasons I thought if I was going to get only one of them, it was going to be Isabel, just because I love the outfit so much. That sort of lilac color is my favorite color, or like one of my favorite colors. And I really like the whole ensemble. The ensemble. I love the whole ensemble because it's got plaid, we've got stripes, which I think you're not supposed to mix plaids and stripes, but I do it anyway, so I kind of identify with that too. But yeah, the outfit is absolutely beautiful, and I really, really love those platform shoes they put on her. You don't often see like platform shoes and things on American Girl dolls, so this is kind of a treat to see sort of a higher shoe on a doll like this. Now that we actually have the official information from American Girl, I can actually read you the details about her, so we know a little bit more about the doll herself. Isabel Hoffman is growing up in the late 90s in Seattle with her twin Nicki by her side, and they're opposites in so many ways. Isabel loves dancing, pop music, glitter, and all things pink. She prefers pink and preppy fashions even when they make her stand out from the crowd. Can Isabel stand up for her style and embrace her girl power? Yeah, that's a very obvious Spice Girls reference to me, and again, that's probably about the same time as if we're talking like 1999, I think of Spice Girls like heyday as like 1997. So I feel like that kind of checks out to be saying girl power in 1999, especially for a younger girl like this. It's a really cute story, and you can already tell they're kind of setting her up for being sort of the not polar opposite, but just finding like contrasting personalities between her and Nicki. They're setting her up to be kind of the girly girl, really preppy, and then Nicki is going to be the one that was more like me, as I can already tell, the one that was sort of the black sheep of the family. But anyway, back to Isabel. She, like I said, I absolutely love her. She reminds me of Clueless, and that's enough of a reason for me to buy this doll. Clueless was like my favorite movie in the 90s. I've seen it, I'm not kidding, like 100 times. There was probably one point in time where I could recite the entire script of that movie from like start to finish. But yeah, anyway, onto her accessories. Again, they suit her outfit really, really well. I love that beret, and if you know anything, Molly is obviously my favorite. She and Samantha are my favorite American Girl dolls, so this beret is obviously very Molly-ish, which I love already because I'm probably going to get this and put it on Molly as well. But yeah, the little, it looks like there's a necklace here. I think it's made out of like little plastic flowers, it looks like. Very, very cute. And again, very 90s, early 2000s. The backpack is super cute. It's kind of got that clear vinyl look to it with the little flowers. Love it. I guess those are sunglasses. Again, very cute. That was a big thing in like the mid-late 90s too, was having sunglasses that had basically tinted lenses on them. The ones I wanted, I think, were like yellow, which looking back on it now, they look absolutely horrible. I'm glad I never ended up getting them, but that was definitely a big thing to have sort of tinted, colored, hued sunglasses. So again, that is right on point for 1999. Even in the description, it says, Isabel is on top of 90s trends and shows off her interest in fashion with these accessories. And it is interesting that they're talking about the 90s a lot because I feel like 1999 were basically, to me, that's more Y2K than 90s because if you were alive then, you'll probably agree with me. 1999 was like a lot different than 1994. But I guess also, if we're talking children, as a general rule, I feel like their fashions kind of, come a little bit later than what the trendier adults are doing. So, maybe that is on par a little bit when you think about it, that, children are are probably not going to be on the absolute cutting edge of fashion in 90s. So that kind of makes sense to me a little bit, actually. All right, on to Nicki. And like I said, she's the one that I kind of identify with the most because I was kind of the rebel when I was younger. I guess these girls are supposed to be around 9 or 10 years old. And so I guess, I probably wasn't that much of a rebel until I started to be like becoming a teenager, but I still feel like, if I was 9 years old wanting these two dolls, I probably would go for Nicki because, I was into skater culture, grunge music, and all of that stuff. So I'm definitely a Nicki. But anyway, again, we've got the Joss mold, which looks beautiful on her as well. She's got blue eyes instead of the green. And interestingly, she has the painted eyes, whereas Isabel had people call them decal, but they're basically just like printed eyes instead of paint. So they've got two different eye types, which is interesting, but that's just kind of a common thing for American Girl to, switch up and play around with, is using different eye types. And yeah, I think they bear like a decent resemblance to each other. I mean, basically the only thing they share in common is a face mold, but I think that's fine. I think it was really important for American Girl to be sure that these dolls didn't look like exact replicas of each other because they would probably not sell that many. As you can imagine, I mean, why buy two of the same exact doll? Shh. I absolutely love her meat outfit. And again, I think this is right on par for late 90s, early 2000s with the spaghetti strap dress and sort of like that ringer tee underneath it. That looks very 2000s to me. And another thing I really love is actually how they kind of use some of the same fabrics with both dolls. So it looks like they've used the same plaid fabric. Like I'm assuming it's flannel. They're using that same fabric on Isabel's skirt as Nicki's shirt. Just think that's really cool. I think that kind of helps tie them in together, and so they're twinning a little bit more. Oh, let's read her description, actually. We can know a little bit more about her story. Growing up in Seattle in the late 90s, Nicki Hoffman loves alternative rock music, skateboarding, and making zines. That's awesome. Which are like homemade magazines. She couldn't be more different from her twin sister. Told you. Anyway, she couldn't be more different from her twin sister Isabel, but they're still best friends. Nicki feels shy about making new friends and is worried about what will happen when the year 1999 turns to 2000. Y2K. I knew that would be part of their story. But anyway, will she be able to conquer her fears and achieve her girl power goal before the new millennium? So yeah, as expected, their story is largely going to be, I would assume, about what it's like going from 1999 to 2000. And again, if you were alive during that time period, that was a very uncertain time for a lot of people. And I can attest, at some point, my mom will probably watch this if she finds my YouTube channel, and she'll attest to this as well. She went absolutely bonkers in 1999, as most people did, because we were all concerned that basically the calendars were going to reset to zero and all the banks were going to collapse and everybody's money would be gone and the power grid would be shut down. And we had a closet full of batteries, clear plastic sheeting, which I'm not even sure what she got that for. Probably 4 years worth of toilet paper, flashlights, just anything you could imagine for survival in the woods. We basically had a closet full of it because it was a real fear. We were all worried that society was going to collapse, and sure enough, it didn't. But, it was a very weird and scary time, and I hope they're able to capture that in the stories because it sounds like they're going to attempt to. But anyway, yeah, I love Nicki's story already. I already identify with her as just sort of like being the black sheep and being into, they say alternative rock music because I'm guessing they wouldn't want to say things like grunge. But, I'm picturing her being into bands like Hole and Babes in Toyland and who else did I listen to? Bikini Kill. I'm drawing a blank, but I was very, very into Riot Grrrl and still am. I love those bands, but I love that they added that she's into zines because that was such a big part of Riot Grrrl culture. The most famous one being a zine called Girl Germs. It's even referenced in a really popular Hole song, but I won't turn this into a video about my love for grunge and Riot Grrrl and everything, but I'm so happy that they included that in this. But that said, by 1999, that was about the time Hole's album Celebrity Skin came out, and Courtney had done her whole makeover from like grunge to glam. So, it's a little bit behind the times, but I'm not mad. I'm just still so happy that this story is included. Again, her meat accessories, I love these. The ball cap, the sunglasses that like vaguely resemble Oakley's, which were a really popular sunglasses brand at the time. I love her vinyl purse, I guess it is. I feel like that was another thing I remember being popular. I remember people making things out of like seat belts and seatbelt buckles and all that stuff. That kind of reminds me of that a little bit. And my favorite piece of this entire accessory set is her yin yang choker. If you remember being a kid in the 90s in school, like with a piece of notebook paper, we would draw all those symbols like the yin yang, peace signs, smiley faces with braces. Oh, and that weird S thing that nobody even knows what it is. You know the one I'm talking about. It's like you draw 3 lines, another 3 lines, and you make this weird S symbol. I'm surprised I haven't seen that anywhere in this collection, but maybe I'm not looking closely enough. But yeah, Nicki's accessories are super cute. And again, I think I'm gonna get both of these dolls and their accessories set. I wasn't 100% sure if I would or not because, I mostly collect historical stuff. But yeah, I really, really like these dolls, and there's a good chance I might actually get them. And if you want to see me unbox them on the channel, just let me know in the comments, and maybe that'll encourage me to get them. All right, next up is Isabel's Bed and Floral Dreams bedding set. And yeah, this is probably, again, I would say this looks a little more 2000s to me, but again, we're in the year 1999, so I think it was sort of like a transitional era. So a lot of this stuff I think can kind of be a little bit 90s or a little bit 2000s, and it's okay for their era, especially as children. The most exciting thing about this actually is they have a little mini Miss AG bear. And while that wasn't something that I knew as a child, because I probably stopped paying attention to dolls somewhere around 1994, as an adult getting into collecting American Girl stuff, obviously, like Miss A.G. Bear was like a huge thing. I believe she was the mascot of the American Girl magazine, if I remember correctly. But I'm really glad they're getting very self-referential with all of these pieces, because obviously American Girl is like really in tune that there are a lot of adult collectors and there are a lot of people my age and even a little bit younger that lived through all this stuff. And it's really fun to kind of revisit it all again, especially when it's the original company that was making it kind of coming back in, and it's very Inception and very like weird but so fun at the same time to see all this stuff being made again as historical items. But yeah, I don't have a whole lot to say about this bedding set. It's cute. It's not, I probably will not get this unless I, break down and really feel like I need the new version of Miss AG Bear, but this is a really great set as far as like play value goes, but as far as me, I probably won't get it, mainly just because I don't have the space for it. But yeah, super cute. Next up is Isabel's bedroom accessories, and these I absolutely love, and I'll just go ahead and cut to the chase. It's because they have a little mini Tamagotchi in there, and I was absolutely obsessed with Tamagotchis when I was, again, we're talking, I think this was 1996 or 1997. These weren't released in 1999, so I'm not mad at it, even if it's like a little bit off in terms of like historically. I'm just glad they included it because, like I said, I was absolutely obsessed with Tamagotchis, and I carried mine around with me everywhere. I took it to school, I took it to camp, and we were obsessed with those things. And I had like every version of Tamagotchi and Gigapets, Nanopets, all the ones that they made. I had them all. I really, really loved them. And now that we actually have the official product pages for these, we know that the Tamagotchi doesn't actually work, which is a little bit of a bummer, but I still want it. I think they've done sort of like a, what do you call it? Like a hologram kind of thing. I think you can take it and like rotate it back and forth and the screen will kind of change a little bit. But yeah, not a huge deal. One thing I love about it is actually, I remember my very first Tamagotchi. I can't remember the name of the character or anything, but the one mine ended up growing into. Oh yeah, if you've never had a Tamagotchi before, it's a little. It starts out as a little digital egg, and you raise it but you basically feed it and clean up after it and everything, and it'll end up growing into a different character depending on how well you took care of it. And this is actually the character that mine grew up into. I remember it had the little Mickey Mouse ears on it, so I love that it was the one that I had myself, and I named him Milton. But yeah, this is still a really cool set. All this, like the little cat hanging on the rope saying "You got this" is very reminiscent of that poster. I think it originally said like "hang in there" and the cat was like hanging off a tree or something. I can't remember it exactly, but it's referential to that. I really love the pink pillow in there. I actually had a blue version of this, probably in the 90s as well. I don't think it was like a faux fur like this, but it was very, very similar. And we called that a husband pillow. I don't know if everybody calls them that, but that's what we called them. We called them husbands. And again, we've got our diary in here, and I don't know, I've got screenshots of all this. I don't actually have the web pages up, but it looks like we've got a little banner with clear plastic butterflies, which again, really cute. I actually like this a lot more than the bedding set itself. So I could see, like I said, I might get this just for the Tamagotchi. It's $50, so it's a bit steep just for the little Tamagotchi, but maybe somebody will buy it and split the set up and I can just buy that. And finally, for her bedding set, we have her pajamas. And again, they look like they kind of match the bedding set a little bit. So that's kind of fun that it all kind of coordinates with each other. Super duper cute. I don't think it's like particularly amazing. And it doesn't look like 90s or 2000s so much to me, but I think kids will love it. And actually, I really love the slippers. That the slippers alone kind of would make this outfit worth it because they basically look like she's got little pink peeps on her feet. I really like those a lot. But I'm interested in your opinion. Do you think these look 90s or 2000s to you? They kind of look a little bit more 70s to me. But that said, I do think that there was like a small little obsession with the 70s and the 60s and the 90s. I feel like I'm talking about like every decade. I'm starting to lose my mind. But anyway, yeah, I'm curious. Do you think that Isabel's pajama set looks like it could be late 90s or 2000s? I'm trying to picture like Amber from Clueless or Sabrina the Teenage Witch in it. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little bit critical, especially because I didn't wear women's clothes in the 90s, so I'm not super up to date on every little detail of the fashions from there. I just have a lot of things that I kind of stick in my memory, but this isn't one of them. So I'm curious what you think, if these actually look historically accurate to you. All right, up next is Nicki's bed and animal print bedding set. I really love this. Actually, maybe not so much the purple leopard print. It's very accurate to the time, to the point where I kind of like, I don't know. That's one of those things I think I'm glad we kind of left in the past. But again, very accurate, but not something that I ever liked or still like. But the alien and smiley face pillow completely make this set for me because again, as kids, we were always drawing this stuff in our notebooks and just anywhere we could take a pen and write something, we were drawing this stuff. So I really especially love that alien pillow and I really, really want it. And next is Nicki's bedroom accessories. And I also really, really love these. I mean, who didn't have or at least love those inflatable chairs? I don't think they were very comfortable from memory, but this again is very of the time. And I think this would look so, so cool in a dollhouse. It looks like she's got a CD player again of the time. This was before MP3s and stuff. So very, very accurate. And she's got an American Girl Grin Pins poster, which is so awesome. I'm glad that they're bringing the Grin Pins back because I think those were, a lot of people collected them, I guess. Again, I didn't get into this stuff until I was an adult, so I really didn't know about it until like a few years ago. But it was a very cool concept, and I'm glad they are referencing a lot of the American Girl of today stuff. Oh, and I can see here she has her little girl power zine, and that's probably actually my favorite piece in this set because again, if you knew anything about grunge or Riot Grrrl, those homemade zines were everything. This was before the internet existed, and well, I guess the internet existed during this time. But when those zines were starting, people weren't communicating by the internet. So it was really, really cool to have, people could write short stories and pass along political information. They were very, very important part of, the Riot Grrrl scene and just punk culture in general. I love that they're bringing that up. And again, a little alarm clock, very cute. I feel like it's a little cutesy for what I remember alarm clocks looking like in the late 90s. And I'm sure you can picture, without even having to listen to it, what those things sounded like when the alarm goes off, and it makes your skin want to crawl. I am so glad we can wake up to music now and not with that like oof. Anyway, a really awesome set, and I really think that chair is going to make this set be a really popular item. And finally, we have Nicki's Skater Dream sleep shirt. Again, I never have a whole lot to say about the pajamas, because pajamas are just such a basic item and they're sort of like a necessity for dolls. I think they're especially great for children that are buying these dolls, or I guess they're getting the dolls bought for them. I don't know what kid has like a job at Target, but I think the pajamas add like really great play value for these dolls. So I feel like that's why you always see pajamas anytime they release a new doll, because I think that's so fun to put your doll in her pajamas and take her to bed with you. And yeah, I really like those monkey slippers too. Those are super cute. All right, and we have another really awesome set in here as far as furniture goes. It's called Icky. It's called Isabel and Nicki's computer and desk set. This is another thing that I think is going to sell super well because they really nailed the aesthetic, I think, as far as like a computer desk goes, because they have like the chunky CRT monitor with it looks like it has a CD drive in it and a floppy disk drive. The actual landline, it looks like, I don't remember any ones that were in periwinkle. Again, I feel like technology was very beige and gray back in that era. So I'm glad that they made a gray computer, but I think they probably felt like they needed to spice it up with sort of a brighter colored phone. So I am actually kind of glad they did that. Because yeah, I feel like this set would have been pretty drab if they just made everything beige. So I think they did a really good job balancing what to make gray versus where to add like a pop of color. And I think this set looks super great. I love that alien mug. That is so cool. That's probably, I'd have to say that's my favorite piece, either that or the yin yang rug that they have underneath the desk. This is a really, really cool set, and I think this one is going to be really popular too. It just is going to look so cool in a dollhouse, I think. And next up is Isabel's tennis outfit, and I think this is really great. You know, it's kind of on the simple side, but that's how tennis, I was going to say costumes, tennis uniforms or outfits or whatever you want to call them, that's kind of how they were, at least in the 90s, because I actually played tennis. I was in a lot of different sports, and none of them ever really took. I think my parents were just trying to figure out what to do with all my weird energy and kind of make me into a normal child, but I played a lot of sports, and tennis was one of them. I think this is a really cute outfit, and actually I think my favorite part of the whole thing is the shoes. I think those are going to be really versatile. If you like to buy different outfits and mix and match and have pieces that kind of act like staples in your wardrobe, those little white tennis shoes, I think you would get a lot of mileage out of those if you bought this outfit, because you could use those for all different outfits for other dolls as well. Super duper cute. Love it. And next up, we have Nicki's skateboarding outfit, which is another great outfit set for this collection. It's got a lot of different pieces in it. We've got her helmet. It looks like she has a shirt, overalls, this little puffer vest, elbow and knee pads, which are very important. I'm actually a little bit bummed they didn't do rollerblades, but skateboarding obviously makes more sense for Nicki's character. But yeah, I was constantly on my rollerblades when I was younger, and if it weren't for elbow and knee pads, I would have been totally messed up. I was like always falling and getting scraped up. But yeah, I really love that skateboard in the set. What's cool about it is it looks like they're encouraging you to take stickers that came. I don't know if it comes with this set, but I've definitely seen stickers throughout this collection, and they're kind of encouraging you to take stickers and personalize the skateboard, because again, that's what you do when you have a skateboard. You put all your custom stickers on it and kind of make it your own. I think that's really great. All right, my voice is breaking again, so I'm gonna have a lozenge for the rest of the video. Sorry. And then the whole reason for these sporty outfits in the first place, we have Isabel and Nicki's 2-in-1 tennis court and skate spot for 18-inch dolls. This is obviously going to have a ton of play value, and it's actually not that expensive in terms of American Girl. It looks like it's going to be $175, and honestly, for a 2-in-1, that's really not bad. That skate park especially looks fun to me. I can just picture like setting Nicki up on her little skateboard and just, you know, doing kick flips and everything in the skate park. I think that would be really, really fun. As an adult collector, obviously it's not something I would get because it's so big, but I think if you had kids, this would be a really, really fun set for them. And next up, we have the Pizza Hut Book It set for 18-inch dolls. And I absolutely love this set, but truth be told, everybody was going wild about, oh my God, I can't believe they brought Book It back, but I don't know what Book It is. Admittedly, I didn't go to public school, so maybe that was a public school thing, but I have never heard of that in my life. But millennials are losing their mind over this, so I'm assuming that it's a really big deal. But I am really excited about the personal pan pizza from Pizza Hut. I'm actually kind of tempted to buy this set as well, because I really love this set, and the fact that they included the red plastic cup was so genius. I really, really like this set, and I think it's going to be super duper popular. And finally, we have Isabel and Nicki's pet set, which one of them gets, actually, let's look, I've got the description here. Isabel and Nicki are so excited when their parents let them each pick out a pet from the animal shelter as a gift for the first night of Hanukkah. Just like the twins themselves, the pets they choose are very different. That is so cute. Again, I'm so happy that they made them Jewish. I really am so excited that they are continuing to try and represent as many different types of girls as they can within their line. So very, very happy about that. So it looks like, of course, the Isabel got the cat and Nicki got the dog, which I don't know. I feel like that's like an old trope. I think they even made a joke about it on SNL. That like cats are for girls and dogs are for boys or whatever. It's like a cat is more feminine and a dog is more masculine, which is stupid. But yeah, it's kind of funny that Isabel ended up with the cat, but of course she did. So the calico kitten is named Buffy, which that is a perfect name. I actually had a dog named Buffy when I was a little kid. Who basically traumatized our family, but that's another story for another day. But yeah, Buffy's a perfect name for a 90s pet. I mean, hello, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And then Nicki got a chocolate lab puppy named Blossom. And funnily enough, we actually had a chocolate lab in my family as well. So yeah, these seem like very 90s concepts to me too, so I'm very happy about that. And I think these will be popular. I really love that little dog. What was his name again? Blossom. Oh, maybe it's a girl. Whatever. I just misgendered a dog, I guess. But yeah, I kind of see wanting to get the little chocolate lab. He is so, so cute. But I'm assuming they come together. But yeah, I'm finally glad we got to see their pets, because that was one of the things that didn't end up leaking. And now that we finally have images of them, I think they're super cute. So yeah, that's Nicki and Isabel and their entire collection. I am so curious what all of you think. I have been waiting on this release forever, and it's finally around the corner, and I'm thinking I might get them. I, don't typically buy a ton of new stuff from American Girl, but I follow along because it's so interesting to me to see how the line develops. But This release is one that I actually feel a little bit inspired to get, so there's a good chance I'll get them. Should I get them and unbox them on the channel? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel because I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and I'm almost there. While you're here, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. My username is @IDreamOfJohnny, and I'd love to see you there too. Thank you so much for hanging out and talking about dolls with me today. I can't wait to do it again soon, but until then, please take care of yourself and I'll see you real soon. Bye for now.